Shyama Charan Lahiri, 30th of September 1828 to 26th of September 1895. Best known as Lahiri Mahasaya, was an Indian spiritual teacher, a disciple of Babaji and guru of Sri Yukteswar. He revived the ancient teachings of Kriya, yoga. He was atypical in the way he lived his life. He led a domestic life. He was married and had 5 children, and he earned his living working as an accountant in a company of the English government. He spent his days performing mundane duties, and his nights teaching his students and meditating, since he never slept. This way of life was intended to inspire many family people to engage in spirituality and to show them that they too can achieve the highest goal. He became famous in the West thanks to the autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, whose parents were Lahiri Mahasaya's students themselves. Lahiri Mahasaya was born in Bengal to a Brahmin family. At the age of 3, he lost his mother. At that age, at the age of 3 or 4, he was often seen sitting in a meditation position, covered with sand all the way to his neck. He later received a higher education, got married, and had a son and 3 daughters, and started working as an accountant. The business took him to all parts of India. When he was 33, work brought him to the foothills of the Himalayas. One day, walking through the hills, he heard a voice calling him. He climbed a little higher, where he met Babaji, his guru from his previous incarnations. Babaji initiated him and instructed him in the techniques of Kriya yoga, and then gave him the task of spreading this teaching. Upon his return, Lahiri Mahasaya began to organize groups for studying the Bhagavad Gita. These groups for studying were attended by Hindus, Muslims, and Christians alike, at the time when religious and class differences were very pronounced in society. He continued with the double role, leading both domestic life and the life of a spiritual teacher until his retirement in 1886, when an increasing number of visitors began to come to him. He rarely left his room where he gathered seekers. During that time, it was extremely unusual for a Brahmin to be so closely associated with people of all castes. He left his body on September 26, 1895, a few days before his 67th birthday. The central part of his teaching, Kriya Yoga, is based on pranayama techniques in which he instructed all people, regardless of their religion or social status. As a solution to all the problems that his seekers came to him with, he recommended more intensive practice of this yoga. He said, "Always remember that you do not belong to anyone, nor does anyone belong to you. Think about the fact that one day you will have to leave everything in this world. So make an acquaintance with God now. Prepare for the coming astral journey of death by flying daily in a balloon of perception of God. Through the illusion, you experience yourself as a pile of bones and flesh, which are at best a nest of trouble. Meditate constantly so that you can soon see yourself as the infinite essence, free from all forms of suffering. Do not be a prisoner of the body. Using the secret key of Kriya, learn to escape into the spirit. The relationship between the teacher and the students occupies the central place in the teaching of Kriya Yoga. He gave Kriya techniques as initiation and preached that these techniques could be properly practiced only as part of the relationship between the teacher and the student. It is absolutely necessary for all the devotees to completely surrender to their guru. The more one can surrender to the guru, the more one will discover the ever subtler techniques of yoga from his guru. Without dedication, nothing can be obtained from the guru, he said. Rama is raised from the dead by Swami Sri Yukteswar. My friend Rama and I were inseparable. Because he was shy and reclusive, he chose to visit our Guru Lahiri Mahasaya only during the hours of midnight and dawn, when the crowd of daytime disciples was absent. As Rama's closest friend, I served as a spiritual vent through which he let out the wells of his spiritual perceptions. I found inspiration in his ideal companionship. Rama was suddenly put to a severe test. He contracted the disease of Asiatic cholera. As our master never objected to the services of physicians at times of serious illness, 2 specialists were summoned. Amidst the frantic rush of ministering to the stricken man, I was deeply praying to Lahiri Mahasaya for help. I hurried to his home and sobbed out the story. The doctors are seeing Rama. He will be well. My guru smiled jovially. I returned with a light heart to my friend's bedside, only to find him in a dying state. He cannot last more than 1 or 2 hours, one of the physicians told me with a gesture of despair. Once more I hastened to Lahiri Mahasaya. The doctors are conscientious men. I am sure Rama will be well. The master dismissed me blithely. At Rama's place, I found both doctors gone. One had left me a note. We have done our best, but his case is hopeless. My friend was indeed the picture of a dying man. I did not understand how Lahiri Mahasaya's words could fail to come true, yet the sight of Rama's rapidly ebbing life kept suggesting to my mind, all is over now. Tossing thus on the seas of faith and apprehensive doubt, I ministered to my friend as best as I could. He roused himself to cry out, "Yukteswar, run to Master and tell him I am gone. Ask him to bless my body before its last rites." With these words, Rama sighed heavily and gave up the ghost. I wept for an hour by his beloved form. Always a lover of quiet, now he had attained the utter stillness of death. Another disciple came in. I asked him to remain in the house until I returned. Half dazed, I trudged back to my guru. "How is Rama now?" Lahiri Mahasaya's face was wreathed in smiles. "Sir, you will soon see how he is," I blurted out emotionally. "In a few hours you will see his body before it is carried to the crematory grounds." I broke down and moaned openly. "Yukteswar, control yourself. Sit calmly and meditate." My guru retired into samadhi. The afternoon and night passed in unbroken silence. I struggled unsuccessfully to regain an inner composure. At dawn, Lahiri Mahasaya glanced at me consolingly. "I see you are still disturbed. Why didn't you explain yesterday that you expected me to give Rama tangible aid in the form of some medicine?" The master pointed to a cup-shaped lamp containing crude castor oil. "Fill a little bottle from the lamp. Put 7 drops into Rama's mouth." "Sir," I remonstrated, "he has been dead since yesterday noon. Of what use is the oil now?" "Never mind. Just do as I ask." Lahiri Mahasaya's cheerful mood was incomprehensible. I was still in the unassuaged agony of bereavement. Pouring out a small amount of oil, I departed for Rama's house. I found my friend's body rigid in the death clasp. Paying no attention to his ghastly condition, I opened his lips with my right finger and managed with my left hand and the help of the cork to put the oil drop by drop over his clenched teeth. As the 7th drop touched his cold lips, Rama shivered violently. His muscles vibrated from the head to foot as he sat up wonderingly. "I saw Lahiri Mahasaya in a blaze of light," he cried. "He shone like the sun. 'Arise, forsake your sleep,' he commanded me. 'Come with Yukteswar to see me.' I could scarcely believe my eyes when Rama dressed himself and was strong enough after that fatal sickness to walk to the home of our Guru. There he prostrated himself before Lahiri Mahasaya with tears of gratitude. The master was beside himself with mirth. His eyes twinkled at me mischievously. "Yukteswar," he said, "surely henceforth you will not fail to carry with you a bottle of castor oil. Whenever you see a corpse, just administer the oil. Why, 7 drops of lamp oil must surely foil the power of Yama." "Guruji, you are ridiculing me. I don't understand. Please point out the nature of my error." I told you twice that Rama would be well, yet you could not fully believe me, Lahiri Mahasaya explained. I did not mean the doctors would be able to cure him. I remarked only that they were in attendance. There was no causal connection between my two statements. I didn't want to interfere with the physicians. They have to live too. In a voice resounding with joy, my guru added, always know that the inexhaustible Param Atman can heal anyone, doctor or no doctor. I know now that your simple word is binding on the whole cosmos.